first. I watched all 10 Best Picture nominees as they were announced. Woo! The big news is, of course, Sinners becoming the new record breaker, leading with 16 Oscar nominees, with one battle after another coming in a close second with 13. Here are the ground rules. So let's get right to it now that they are announced, starting with number 10, F1. This year's annual Spider-Man No Way Home should have totally been nominated for Best Picture blockbuster. Now it goes to F1. Let's be real. Apple found some pocket change in their $1 million couches and bought a Best Picture nomination. F1 is a well-made commercial for Formula One racing starring Brad Pitt. While I can't deny the racing scenes are absolutely fantastic and done practically during actual Formula One races, it's still a pretty average movie that shouldn't have even snipped Best Picture. Top Gun Maverick absolutely 100% deserved its Best Picture nomination, as that felt like a natural continuation of the story of the first film, while surpassing the first film. F1, meanwhile, is a glorified advertisement for the fact that Formula One racing will be coming exclusively to Apple TV in 2026. This is one of those films that absolutely 100% should be my jam, and it isn't. This slot should have gone to It Was Just an Accident, or even Weapons if you wanted to put a blockbuster here. F1 is like an Apple product, a shiny, aesthetically pleasing piece of tech that will become obsolete in 5 years. I said as I edited this video on Final Cut Pro. Number 9, Begonia. Yorgos Lanthimos is going to be one of those filmmakers that's going to be hit or miss with me, and I am perfectly okay with that. While I did like this film, I'd rather the slot went to the actual Korean film No Other Choice instead of the remake of the Korean film Save the Green Planet. Begonia has a lot of great moving parts to it. The absolute tension as you try to figure out whether or not Emma Stone is actually an alien, or how Jesse Plemons' character's conspiracy theories warp his mentally handicapped brother. There are things I do love about this movie. I just didn't think it was an awards contender when I watched this, much less Best Picture. As much as I love Emma Stone, I think the Oscar place should have been Jesse Plemons. Plemons is the wheel that drives this film, and it absolutely sucks that he got snubbed for Best Actor. Emma Stone is good in this, but I liked her performances in The Favorite and Poor Things better. Begonia suffers from being quirky for the sake of being quirky. However, for all of its issues, I am team I fucking love the ending. I am a mark for a gonzo fuck the audience ending. I don't even want to show you the ending. Begonia is mid-tier Lanthimos, but I would still give it a recommendation. Number 8, Sentimental Value. Hooray for Hollywood! This film fills 2 of my niche categories for Best Picture nominees. The Hooray for Hollywood nominee and the Tailor Made for the Criterion Collection nominee. Sentimental Value has a fantastic core story to it. A man who is trying his best to reconcile his relationship with his estranged daughter, who puts all of her work into being a stage actress despite having massive bouts of stage fright. Stellan Skarsgård would totally win the Best Supporting Actor Oscar if he weren't outspokenly pro-Palestine, as it is his best performance to date. Hell, I would probably give my nephews and nieces Blu-rays of films from the Criterion Collection myself. Renate Reinsma is an inspired choice for a Best Actress nomination. Of the 2 Supporting Actress nominations from Sentimental Value, I loved... Jesus Christ, I had a hard enough time pronouncing Renate Reinsma's name. I need to go to tape for this pronunciation.
Inga Eve's daughter, Lilas, in Sentimental Value.
Thank you, Daniel Brooks. Inga Eve's daughter, Lilas, says the sister who has a family and a normal life. It's just that I am just so goddamn tired of generational trauma. I liked Elle Fanning in the role of this American actress who was trying to do serious work, but I'm with the Arianators in saying that Ariana Grande should have been nominated for Wicked for Good over Elle Fanning. Not just that, rightfully swept Zoe Saldana style. What this shouldn't have been is a Hooray for Hollywood movie, or in the instance of Norway, Trollywood. The film hinges on a Netflix deal. While I loved the bonkers ending of Begonia, I hated the cop-out ending of Sentimental Value. I'm part of the this film is pretty good camp, but I don't think it's the greatest film ever made like most people do. But at least it wasn't Jay Kelly that took the spot. 2025's worst 2 seconds of film is Clooney's final line in that overrated track.
I'd like another one.
Fuck you! I had no qualms spoiling that fucking ending. Number 7, The Secret Agent. One thing I wanted to talk about when I highlighted I'm Still Here in my favorite films video was how Brazil treats everything involving their country like it's the goddamn Super Bowl. But then Renee Nicole Good got murdered for the crime of being polite, and that became my focus as to why it was on the list, and I wanted to focus on how powerful Eunice Paiva's story was. So you best believe that The Secret Agent is going to be a huge ratings play in Brazil for the Oscars, as it's nominated for both International Feature and Best Picture. The Secret Agent is one of those films that within its first hour, I would put this in my top 3 in both the favorite films video and this video. It felt like a gritty action film from Brazil that would have been released in the 70s that would have been spotlighted on an early Cinema Snob episode. I also love that it isn't shot with a piss yellow filter. Wagner Moura is coming for the Pedro Pascal throne with a stellar Oscar-nominated performance as a man who wants to escape an authoritarian regime. I love the inspired nod for best casting, as that cast looked like regular everyday people. One of my favorite performances in the film is the opening scene where a man with barely any teeth has great comedic timing with Mora's character as they are shooting the shit with a dead body within eyesight. That character would more than likely be played by Post Malone if it were an American film. But where this film loses me is its midsection, where we are following a sentient stop-motion severed leg kicking people. That moment felt as if the Minister of Silly Walks was an actual character in a Connery Bond movie. Then we get to the present day as we have this Greek chorus of characters summarizing the movie for you in the event you are half watching this on your phone. If this movie were 20 minutes shorter, this would have been higher on my list, but for what it's worth, I did think this was also a pretty good movie. Number 6, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Anthony Grimuglia reminded me of a fantastic take on Frankenstein in 2004 made by Hallmark. I remembered seeing it first run and digging it, but haven't thought about it much since. Go subscribe to his channel, by the way. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein can also be added as one of the best non-Universal Studios monsters adaptations of Frankenstein. One thing I love about del Toro's movies is that they all have an aching sincerity and romanticism to them. This feels more at home with Hammer Films than it does with Universal Pictures. This was also a treat to see at Mommy Theater before it hit Netflix. One of the performances of this film I absolutely loved was Jacob Elordi as Adam. He disappears into this world to the point that you don't think of him as Nate from Euphoria. I also love seeing Mia Goth in the role of Elizabeth, who is thrust into this love triangle with Adam and Victor Frankenstein. While I do love this version and I will buy the inevitable Criterion 4K release of this on day one, it has some things that just didn't work, like the ridiculous 90s CGI or lines of dialogue that are extremely on the nose.
You are the monster.
But overall, I really dug the hell out of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Number 5, Train Dreams. There are just certain movies that just make me miss family members. Train Dreams is one of those films that if my grandpa were alive, he would get an absolute kick out of, given it deals in a lot of American history. A film that is both mournful and optimistic, Train Dreams is a gorgeous looking film that is screaming for a physical media release. One of the biggest Oscar snubs this year is Joel Edgerton's performance as Robert Grenier. This film doesn't exist without Edgerton's soulful performance as we see him age before our eyes. It's a compelling performance that makes this film great as he endures a lot of trials and tribulations while entering the 20th century as industry booms in America. Two other Oscar plays that should have happened as well are William H. Macy for supporting actor and Felicity Jones for supporting actress as Robert's wife. This would have been my top 3 on my list if it weren't for the narration that is such a double-edged sword. On one hand, at times it absolutely works to tell this story, or at times it feels like studio-noted exposition in the event you are playing on your phone while watching this. But I seriously want 4K of Train Dreams. This film is absolutely gorgeous to look at. Number 4, Hamnet.
The nominees are Chloe Zhao, Hamnet.
You guys seriously nominated The Ugly Stepsister for makeup, and that is an inspired Oscar nomination. You do recognize films directed by women. While I do feel Chloe Zhao absolutely 100% deserves to be in this class of Best Director nominees, I'm just tired of the Academy pretending to be progressive and saying, here's the Oscar nod for the token female director that is clearly not going to win. Then again, in my favorite films video, I said Amy Madigan wouldn't be nominated for Weapons. But Zhao also crafts this wonderful film that feels as if you are in the time of Shakespeare. Each shot is carefully placed, each scene looks gorgeous, and one runaway victory this film will definitely have is Jessie Buckley's soulful performance as Agnes Shakespeare. One performance I didn't highlight is Jacoby Jupe as the titular Hamnet. This is a child performance that I also felt deserved an Oscar nomination, but the Academy doesn't take kids seriously. Hamnet is one of those films that feels like it came from a real place. This was a film that felt like it needed to be made. It's nice to see Chloe Zhao return and make her best film to date. I often say first impressions are the worst impressions, as Nomadland was dead last when I started these ranking videos, but now I'm excited to see what she does next. Oh fuck yes, I'm so in. Number 3, Marty Supreme.
This is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get.
It's wildly appropriate that one of the 80 songs featured in Marty Supreme is Public Image Limited's The Order of Death. The song is mostly a drone of Johnny Rotten repeating ad nauseum to a new wave soundscape. No song is more appropriate for Marty Supreme than The Order of Death. It's also a song made by an irredeemable piece of shit that serves as a meta-commentary on Marty's myopic drive to become ping pong's biggest superstar. Marty Supreme was one of those movies that I got the hype for immediately when I watched it. On a second viewing, I'm counting down the days for the inevitable overpriced 4K release of this film. Even without the A24 logo, I think this film would still be successful. I really wanted to see nods for both Odessa Zion and Gwyneth Paltrow, but the acting categories were extremely competitive, especially a Zion, as she is the beating heart of that film.
Tell Tim Chalamet to come get at me. Skin glowing, clear acne.
Talk about manifestation. Not only does Tyler, the creator, do a fantastic job in his feature film debut, it just reminds me that I should have gotten more hip to his music. Because Hobson, the other ex-Lord rapper that came up at the same time as he did, fell off hardcore.
Cringe. There's no other word for it. This makes me cringe. It's embarrassing.
I say this as someone who met Hobson, by the way. I already gushed enough about this in the favorite films video. I just want you to go seek this out. Number 2, One Battle After Another.
This normie movie doesn't practice my exact politics. So I wrote a 30-page, single-spaced, half-star review about why you should hate this movie as much as I do. I hate this movie as much as Saturday Night Fever.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong.
Well, I did like Kate Hudson's performance in Song Some Blue. That was a nod picked by the old guard who still thinks Green Book is a cinematic masterpiece and Do the Right Thing wasn't worthy of Best Picture. Meanwhile, Chase Infinity gave a stellar performance in One Battle After Another that I feel was more deserving of a Best Actress nod than Kate Hudson's performance. Watching One Battle After Another for me was like watching The Godfather for the first time. I knew what I was watching was a classic. I seriously pre-ordered the 4K after I left the theater opening weekend, only to find out that the Steelbook was already sold out. That's how you know you have a classic on your hands. I cannot say enough good things about this film. This film was made as a bold statement. It's a film that pisses the right people off. It also features the best American Girl needle drops in Scrubs. As a side note, please don't suck new season of Scrubs. Everything in this film is near perfect. Its needle drops, its third act, its character development, the fact that it's Paul Thomas Anderson's best film since Punch Drunk Love. This also features my other favorite scene of 2025.
That call. Send in Eddie Van Halen.
Because you know damn well that is what these ice assholes are fucking doing. This is another movie I feel you should just fire up and watch right now. Shout out to this member of the Christmas Adventurers Club for his nuanced critique of my Rachel Zegler video. So Lawrence, what'd you think of Sinners?
If you don't have anything nice to say.
Thought so. And of course the film I want to take Best Picture is...
It's because of your white guilt that you want to see Sinners win Best Picture. Just like you defended that woke bitch Rachel Zegler.
Twitter, Tara, is that you?
It's Tara X now, you SJW cuck.
Jill Stein, not even once. One Battle After Another would have been my pick for Best Picture if it weren't for the fact that the Golden Globes completely screwed over Sinners in major categories, save for a pity win for box office achievement and a rightfully deserved win for Ludwig Göransson's score, but, well, about that.
One of these things is not like the others.
Here's the thing. Both Sinners and One Battle After Another are both will/should win nominees for Best Picture. They are both fantastic in their own ways. If you hate One Battle After Another because it isn't Sinners,
Get your head out of your ass.
Sinners did so much so well. The usage of dual roles, the exploration of how black music paved the way for modern music, spectacular action scenes, and the fact that this is an honest-to-fucking-god horror movie in this category. Sinners deserved all 16 of its nominations. Much like One Battle After Another, this too felt like an instant classic the moment I saw it. It's also nice to see horror being represented in Best Picture twice, with both Sinners and Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Whether it's Sinners or One Battle After Another, both of these films are worthy of the title Best Picture. Be sure to like, comment, share, spread the word of New Realms Media, follow me on all my socials at New Realms Media, and until then...
What the hell is that, bro?